Hello, 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 everyone. How are you? Let me get up in here and make sure that you guys can hear us and see us here. Welcome to episode 12 of the birthing experience. I am so excited because it is another master midwife moment, and I have another amazing guest with us tonight. So I can't wait to introduce her. I'm going to take a moment to share this video out. And those of you who are here with me live, please take a moment to share it out as well, okay? All right, so I just want to get this out into my group. Definitely want to get it there. And awesome. All right. So, hi, guys. Welcome to the birthing experience. It is your host, Neala Phillip, the master midwife for coaches. And I'm so excited because it is episode 12. Okay. I was just telling Obioma, our guest here, I can't wait to introduce her. I was just telling her how, oh my goodness, girlfriend, we made it to episode 12. And I'm so excited to bring you guys content every week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to help you master your mindset, your messaging, your marketing, and your money. We also like to do a special segment called Master Midwife Moments, where we get to bring a guest that comes out and share all about their story, their journey, and their expertise. So today we have the phenomenal, the beautiful Obioma Martin. Okay, she's here in Philadelphia like me. She is a speaker. She is an author. She is a accountability coach. She has several businesses. She's a mom, and she has a story. So I cannot wait for her to tell you all about her. Hey, Obioma, how you doing, darling?
How you doing, girl?
I am so excited for us to finally have this conversation. I've known you for some years now. I have been inspired by you. As a matter of fact, I remember the first time we met, I came to a class that you did here in Philadelphia. So it's been a long time, and I'm just happy to be able to share your story with my audience because I believe that so many people are going to be inspired tonight. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes. Okay. So let's jump in.
Okay.
Let's jump into the good stuff. I'll say hello to everybody in a few minutes. Obioma, tell everyone who is Obioma.
Listen, I am just a girl. Oh God. Like you know what? Here's the thing. What I found is that you really can feel like you're not enough, right? You really can feel like you are nothing special. And the reality is, for me, I kind of felt like I was really just a girl. I was just, somebody kind of going through the motions, or going through life on autopilot. And even though it appeared that I had it all together, and it appeared that I was doing the daggone thing, sometimes we can get caught up in the smoke and mirror. And sometimes the pedestal that other people put us on, it becomes too overwhelming for us to stay on it. And even though I didn't put myself on the pedestal because I was put there, I felt like I had an obligation to uphold the perception that people had of me.
Yeah.
And the reality is, I am no different than you. I just made a decision to step out and to take action, and to believe in myself, and to really believe in the message that I had to share. And at the end of the day, when you're passionate about something, you want the world to know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when I say I'm just a girl, like, I really am a person that have things that I'm really passionate about. And when it comes to making sure that other women have a breakthrough or that they get the same clarity that I got, I'm really passionate about making sure that that comes through. And
Right.
so when I was in a dark place, and I got to the other side of that dark place, I then became passionate about making sure that other women who experience what I experienced know that there is hope, know that there is, a light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that, even though you are a business owner, or even though you are a mom, or even though you are a sister, or whatever your title is, that you are not exempt from life, but the story doesn't end there, and that you are the author and finisher of your faith, and you just have to make a decision to be your own rescue. And so when I say I'm just a girl, like I'm just a girl who made a decision that what I was experiencing was not going to be the end all.
Yeah.
Like I just made a decision, like even though I'm struggling, it got to be a better way. Victory got to be on the other side of this, even though it don't look like it. I needed to figure out where victory was, find out people who was victorious, connect with them so
Yeah.
that I could change my mindset and come up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love how you say that. First of all, I want to touch on how you said, you got put on a pedestal. And sometimes when we get put on a pedestal, we're not even ready for it yet. But it gives us, sometimes that alone gives us the push that we need to break through and keep going. So I love how you said that. We are all just a girl. You know what I mean? We are all just a girl, right? And we all have that message that is meant for other people. So I love that. So since we started there, let's continue there. Tell me about a time, and I hope that you share the story that I think you're going to share. But but tell me about a time when you found yourself at a place where you had to push through.
Okay, so are you talking about, because I got a whole lot of those. So are you talking about a story I shared in my book, or I
I'm
don't even
talking
know.
about the story that fueled your businesses.
So there's a few, actually. There's a few. So I'm going to talk about the story that kind of got me into the empowerment space with women. I'll talk about that one. And so what got me there was my birthday. And so my birthday is Monday, March
Oh.
25th. And everything that I do, everything that I have done over the last 6 years has been connected to that, because the narrative prior to 2013 was very dark, was very depressing. I was married, and my ex-husband would often not show up on my birthday. He would often make empty promises, and really leave me just stuck, like literally stuck. Like we would make plans to go somewhere, and he just would not show up. And I remember specifically one particular year, and I want to say it was probably 2009, 2010, where it was my birthday. I was on a campus at Chestnut Hill College in my
Mhm.
last year of my bachelor's degree program, and I had made plans to hang out with my girls for my birthday, go out to dinner or whatever. And he was supposed to pick me up when
Mhm.
class was over, and he didn't pick me up. Now, my reservations was at 3 o'clock in South Philadelphia at this Italian restaurant. I'm all the way in Chestnut Hill. And so for those of you who are not familiar with Philadelphia, that's a stretch. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
stretch, a good, hour or whatever. And I remember feeling like I got to change this narrative. I got to change this narrative. Like a shift is going to have to happen, or I'm going to kill him, or like I just don't know. I
Yeah.
just don't know. And at that time, him and I was in business together, and the business that we had together focused on coaching and consulting childcare owners and helping people open up childcare businesses and child development and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But when it came to the empowerment, I had to first empower myself. And so I did not, in 2013, I did not have a sister village. I did not have, you know, I just didn't have the supportive systems in place, because my ex was also extremely jealous. and competitive. It was just a very
That
toxic
so many women
situation.
are dealing with.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. It was so toxic. And so I did not know. So for me, in all transparency, I was like, I just need to do whatever I need to do to keep the peace in my home. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I just went along with it. I lived on autopilot. I was like, whatever, I don't want no problems. But it was a problem. It didn't matter whether it was a male or female. If I was hanging out with my mom, it was a problem. Like that, it was that type of situation.
Right.
And so on my birthday now, 2009, 10 or whatever, when he didn't show up, instead of me just being like really depressed, like I usually get, I was like, you know what? I'm going to figure out how to get from Chestnut Hill to South Philly. That's what I'm going to do.
Right.
And I did that. And I met up with my girls, and of course, I cried, right? Because I was heartbroken and devastated. Like, you fool, why did you think he was going to show up? But like, you my husband, why wouldn't you show up? You know what I'm saying? And so long story short, 2000, fast forward 2013, I decided for my birthday, because now my daughter is going away to college, and I decided for my birthday to have a ladies night out. And I 2 weeks prior to my birthday, at this point, I have a state-of-the-art training center. I'm in Northern Liberty section. I went through the phone book literally and cold called, I don't even know how many people. And on the day of my birthday, I had over 100 women show up and 20 vendors. And it was like phenomenal to have all these women that I did not know, that I literally went through the phone book and kind of cold call. And the vendors paid to be there. The participants,
Right.
the women that came, it was free.
Right.
And it was such an amazing time. And so when it was over, everybody was like, oh my God, when you going to have
What are you
next
going
one?
to do? Right.
And this was for my birthday. Like, this was me celebrating me. This was me pausing, saying, you know what? You are worthy. You ain't got to wait for somebody to celebrate you. Celebrate yourself. Throw
Yourself.
yourself a
Right.
party. You know what I'm saying? And so what happened was, it was such a cry for me to do it again. I was like, okay, so in June 2013, I did a smaller version of that same thing. I had all these women showed up July, women showed up August, and what was so authentic and unique is that the women started forming their own like
Group.
circle group,
Mm.
like without a speaker, and just like loving on each other and sharing their stories. And I was like, oh my God. And I remember initially my girlfriend was helping me, and she was like, oh my God, you got to see this. You got to see what's happening. And I was too busy playing hostess. I was like, I'm
Right.
glad they getting it. Like, I'm just glad they getting it. And so after a while, though, I went from doing that every month to the end of 2014, actually. And then I closed my building, and I went on to my girlfriend place, the personal chef restaurant. I grew that like 2 months, and then I ended up at the Embassy Hotel. I think that's where
we
that was the
met.
first
Yeah.
time. Yeah. And so now 2015, I started Omar Women Supporting Women. I got
Right.
501(c)(3, and that really has been a foundation, for what I do now. But it didn't start with, oh, I'm gonna make some money. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't. It was me being my own rescue. It was me being my answer. It was me being my solution. And what's so unique about that, even now, the way that I serve women from what I need.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so funny that you say that, because one of the things that I'm always preaching here on the show is that, our experiences, the things that we've been through that has been probably the worst experiences are the ones that deliver us.
Yeah.
And it's also the ones that we use to help other people. It's the ones that help us birth our purpose and the things that we really want to do. So it does make sense. I remember when I first, came here to Philly, I didn't, because I wasn't from here. And Philly is tight now, okay?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so when I first came here, I'm a businesswoman, but I didn't know anybody.
Right.
I didn't know anyone besides some of the parents from my children's school, and I said, I need to be around people like me. And that was the first thing that I thought too was, but the way yours happened is so authentic because it was just a birthday celebration
Yeah.
and now it turned into a women's empowerment movement. And I know that you're also do you still do something? I think you were doing the welfare program for women. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Is it a
So I
transitional
still,
program?
so let me tell you about that. Yeah, so I got stories for days. So what happened was I owned the daycare, and um I was looking for qualified staff, and I was doing what I was told to do, or go to the Welfare to Work program, recruit from there.
Right.
But as I did that, the individuals that I was getting was just not qualified.
Okay.
So 2005, I got into the training space because I was like, I need to really understand what they're not understanding
Right.
so that I can help them help me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I got into just teaching in 2005 some foundational child development classes. But it wasn't until I became a director at somebody else's daycare. While I still had my own program, I
Right.
became a director at somebody else's program. And in walked a gentleman from one of the Welfare to Work programs. And they were like, we want you to bring some of our candidates on. And I said, how about you let me train them?
Train
So
them. Right.
this would cut down the turnover rate, and it would make them more employable if they had some real skills and actually understood a little bit how children develop and learn. And so that
Yeah.
was my pitch. He then took that pitch back to his boss, and then they then gave me an opportunity to provide 20 hours on a monthly basis to these candidates, and I start getting them employed. Well, within 6 months, they was like, we want the whole program. So the whole program was 120 hours, and it's a
Right.
real credential that I teach today that is nationally recognized in all 50 states that allow you to work anywhere in the world, working with children in the early childhood setting. And
Right.
so I have evolved from doing it for one program to being in the school district and being in most of the daycares in the city know who I am. Like, that is my niche. But that was something that I was passionate about because me being a mother,
Hmm.
and having my own daycare and having my own children in my daycare and then other people daycares, I'm watching how staff interact with the children. I'm like, I really need you to have some love in your voice. Like, you're a little too harsh.
Right.
Way you
Right.
grab my son. I don't like the way you grabbing that child. I like, and so I just really became passionate about helping teachers understand how children develop. And so, today I'm still doing that work. Today
Hmm.
I'm still doing that work. And what's so amazing about it is that I have people who I've worked with, women who I've worked with who didn't even have a high school diploma, and to then now in 2019 have them in my class in my bachelor's program. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
support at the associate's degree level for Harcum. And I've been at Chestnut Hill since 2014. And I'm telling you, when I see somebody that I had who didn't even have a high school diploma walk into my college classroom in my bachelor's program, I'm like, look at God. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And they
Yeah.
like, Miss, oh, I'll never forget what you taught me, how you helped me, how you poured into me. And so that right there, there's no greater reward to me than that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah. Absolutely. So your mom
mm-hmm.
and you're also running several different companies, and I
Yeah,
know you also do you wrote a book
yeah.
called
Breathe.
Just Breathe.
Yes, yes.
So where did that concept come from? Because I know
So
that that's a formula process that you help people with, right? So where
yeah,
did that come from?
that came out of my brokenness. That came out of my brokenness. That came out of my despair. That came out of me really going through life panting, being depressed and suicidal, and really ready to check out. Like,
Yeah.
really ready to check out because it was just unbearable, and I could no longer wear the mask. It just was too heavy. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. This ain't working, and I'm tired. You know what I mean? I was just tired. And listen, here's the thing about it. I was a boss. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a real boss, employees, the whole nine. And I was checking out because at home I was going through hell.
Yeah.
And so the acronym BREATHE, I had to learn how to believe in myself. So that's the first word in BREATHE. Like I literally had to learn how to believe in myself. And in that process of doing it, though, I had to learn how to believe God and believe what he said about me and who he said I could be and what he promised me. And I had to get in my word and begin to renew my mind. And then I had to learn how to release the things that was toxic, the toxic thinking, the toxic people, the toxic places, like all the things that were not serving me, the toxic conversations. Like I don't watch TV anymore because it's toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder. That's toxic. You got to be careful what you feed in your spirit because that stuff shows up. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get to a place where, okay, once I start believing in me, I had to release those things that were no longer congruent or in alignment with who I was becoming. Then I had to embrace the journey because there was a journey ahead of me now that I was starting to think differently and act differently and walk differently. You know what I'm saying? Like and it still is a journey. It still is a journey. Let me say that. And then I had to accept, and I'm still accepting people when they show me who they are and stop trying to make them be something that they're not. When they a liar, they a liar. That's character. You can't make a liar turn into somebody that's going to tell the truth. Like that's their character. That's who they are. And when people lack integrity and you keep trying to give them chance after chance and they keep showing you like I can't be trusted in that area, at some point you got to accept that's who they are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have to accept who you are and stop beating yourself up from being who you are. You know what I mean? And so for me, I had to accept like I am a giver. I love people. I love helping people, but I also had to accept the fact that some people will prey, P-R-E-Y, on my kindness and try to take advantage of the woman I am. And so I had to accept who they be. I had to accept who I am and find some boundaries.
Yes.
Right. So then I had to take action by putting some boundaries in place and start protecting my time as well as protecting my intellectual properties. You see what I'm saying? And then I had to heal. You know what I mean? Like I really, really, really had to heal. And so I developed this thing called the Delete Ministry.
Okay.
And the Delete Ministry really helps me to have boundaries because
I hear you.
once I have come to the place where I'm like, you know what, I'm good. Let me just add you to the Delete Ministry. So that for me is like, you know what, they showed you who they are. And you have to make a decision how you want to engage if you choose to continue to engage. And so for me, once I add you to the Delete Ministry, like I'm done. Like
that was
I don't
your
away.
Right. That was your take action. Like
yeah, that's my take action. That was my drawing the line in the sand. Like enough is enough.
Right.
Enough is enough. And we have to learn how to do that. We really do as women, because naturally we are nurturers. Naturally we are caregivers. Naturally, we want to see other people succeed. Most of us do anyway.
Right.
But there are genuinely people out there who just want to take advantage, who want to be a leech. You know what I'm saying? And those are the kind of people that I be having to add to the Delete Ministry. Like I ain't got time to be taking life out of me.
Right. No, I hear you. I hear you. And you know what? First of all, let's do it one more time because I was trying to keep up. So the B, okay, so everybody, the name of the book is called Just Breathe. And this is not just a book, it is a process. It is exactly what Obioma went through to get where she is right now. So, okay, so the B is believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
R is release the negativity, release everything that's not good for you, right?
Yeah.
What is the E?
Embrace.
Okay. And then the A is accept.
Yep.
Right? Okay. Then it's take action.
Yes.
And then you didn't finish.
Heal. H is for heal.
Heal.
Right. And so healing is a process as well. Right. because as a business owner, you know, healing is twofold. As a business owner, I had to heal from the broken business relationships. I had to
Yeah.
heal from people who said they was trying to be my partner or try to collaborate, but they really were still in my clients.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
I had to, and I went through that over and over and over again with women,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and I
can I
had
can
to
resonate
heal.
with that.
Yeah, yeah, I had to heal from that. So then when I come in relationship with you, you're not paying for the last sister that I trusted. And
And a
that's
lot of
real.
people are punishing
Yeah.
the women that are coming in their life now because of past experiences. I know
Yeah.
I'm definitely one person that became very cautious because of
Yep.
those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to heal. And what that looked like is I had to forgive myself for being so vulnerable, forgiving myself for just, you know what, like, don't beat yourself up for being who you are. Like,
Right.
you can't change people, but you can change the way you allow people to impact you emotionally. You
Yeah.
can change the way you choose to engage with people. And it's okay to still be a giver, but you just need to have some boundaries.
Right.
You know
And
what
I
I'm
get
saying?
it. And
Yeah.
I like how you spell that out because it really touches every part that a woman, like every emotion or transition that a woman goes through personally and through business. Another thing that I want to touch on that you said before when you were sharing your story with us is that it was so much stuff going on at home that it was like, I'm a boss, I people have me on this pedestal. I'm doing what I have to do, but now these things that are happening at home is affecting me mentally. And I think that that's probably what even pushed you to say, okay,
Oh yeah.
like, I can understand that. And a lot of women are probably there now. So tell me, what would you say to that woman, right?
So
What would you tell them to do first?
the first thing I would really encourage you to do is to get a village. You
Ah,
got to get it village. You have to get a get it village. And a get it village is people, whether it's women or men, who really get your vision and your purpose and
yeah,
are willing to support you. Like that right there is a game changer, because you can surround yourself or be around people who don't support you, and
yeah,
they just don't see your vision, they don't understand, and because of that they always have something negative to say when you start talking about your vision, and the vision you have for your future or your business and the things that you're trying to do. And because God didn't give them that vision and they gave you that vision, it looks like hate, it looks like shade, but the
yeah.
reality is they just don't have the
Don't
capacity to
understand.
support. They don't
Yeah,
understand, right? So it don't mean that you got to put them in the delete ministry. It just means that you have to accept the fact that they are not meant to support you on your next level.
yeah,
That's all that means. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I say to you, like, that was the first thing I had to get from within my community, if you will. And literally, when I started traveling, honestly, when I went to my first conference out of Philadelphia, it was 2015. It was with oh my God, Allison Bird. Have you heard of her?
yes, of course. The profit
Okay. Yeah,
accelerator,
Profit
right?
Accelerator. I went to my first conference, Texas, Allison Bird, and that right there changed the
Change
game.
your life.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, it changed the game for me. I was like, because prior to me going to that conference, everything that I had experienced in Philadelphia told me that I wasn't good enough. It really did. It really did. Like, people, it was just this constant, you ain't good enough, you ain't a part of this clique, you ain't a part of this group, you ain't part of it. Like, it was constant rejection. I felt.
right. And you know what?
I felt.
To add into what, well, not even to add in, but to interject right there. I think that this is something big in our industry that happens. I know I experienced that with beginning my women's empowerment company. But what I will say is, as women, we have to be strong enough, like to do what Obioma did and start our own movements. If people don't accept you, you start the group of the miss, whatever you want to call people, the outsiders, a group of the outsiders.
Right,
Really, we
right,
have to be strong enough to realize that not everywhere is for us, but there are always people who need us. So if we step out and be what we needed, we will provide a better environment for ourselves as well as for the other women that are around us. And I think that that's what you did with Omar, women supporting women.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And also I will say this: don't chase the numbers. Don't chase the numbers. Don't, as a coach, as an author, as a speaker, do not allow numbers to impact your perception of your impact. Don't allow numbers to impact your perception of your impact, of your effectiveness. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it, because that will have you in a place you don't belong in. And so I have to say, because I was so committed to being what I needed for me and showing up for me in a big way. When I tell you, sometimes it would only be one person. Sometimes it would only be two women, and I would talk to them and pour into them like it was a stadium full of women. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, that has been my consistency, and that has been my journey, because I didn't get into this because of numbers. And numbers are not what's going to sustain me. What I understand is that if I only impact, if I only change, if I only transform one, I have made a difference in the lives of all of the people that one is now going to influence. Because you only need to be impactful in one person's life to see the domino effect. You see what I'm saying? And so for me, I was like, I'm going to be what I need. If I can be the solution, if I can be what I need, if I can be my own answer, and then show other women and help them and empower their voice and help them to find their voice, I'm still a difference maker. I'm still an influencer. You know what I'm saying? And so I refuse to allow low attendance at an event to discourage me from being who I knew I needed to be.
I love, you are touching on everything that you need to touch on today. I say this often: put people before numbers, especially in business, because it's really about serving. And as you serve, the blessings seem to just come. It just, doors just starts to open, doors that you're not even looking for, or that you didn't even think would happen. Another thing that you said is, you had one or two people, but you would still give them your all. And this week in my Facebook group, right, I was doing a challenge, and one of the things that I was telling them with like their when they step out with their new message was that even if they had one person, that one would turn into 10. And the reason why I say that is because when you give all to that one becomes a loyal fan, becomes a friend, becomes a partner, and that one will share you everywhere. That one will be your biggest supporter, and that is, to me, that is better than any type of numbers.
Absolutely.
I say it all the time when I come up with these ideas. Just being able to pick up the phone and talk to somebody means way more than numbers. So I love that you said that. Okay, so tips. Hey Lois, how are you, darling? Tips.
Okay, so number one, remain authentic.
Remain authentic. Okay.
Do not, because it's easy to do. It's easy to lose yourself because you think, because I've been here. I have to say, honestly, when I got to the place where I was ready to start charging, I didn't know where to begin because that wasn't my heart. But it became such a demand, I had to start charging something. But for 2 years, I didn't charge anything. And the only reason why I started charging was because I now had real overhead. Right. And so since I entered that space where I needed to start charging to cover my overhead, I start looking at other people as an example so that I could, have a starting place or a foundation. And then I start thinking like, oh, well, maybe I need to do it like this, or maybe I need to do it like that. And you can lose your authenticity trying to walk in somebody
You
else's
could
shoes.
also lose your purpose doing stuff that's not really
Right.
meant for you to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to make sure that you keep your authenticity and that your why is always clear, so that when people look at you, it's never, oh, she just like so and so, that there's always a
Yeah.
clear distinction in your message and your why and what you do. You know what I'm saying? That I think that's so, so, so important. And then the second thing I would say is have integrity. Like just oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like have integrity. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. If you can't do something, say so.
Yeah.
Don't I'd rather you under promise and over deliver than over promise and under deliver, because at the end of the day it's your brand. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's your brand, and word of mouth travel faster than the speed of light. I'm telling you, people social media all day long, but somebody pick
Hmm.
up the phone and be like, "Girl, you done, you done, you done, you done."
Yeah.
So, and then the third thing is communication. So I am an over communicator. Okay, and listen, as a business owner, as a boss, remember this: if it's not documented, it didn't happen, because
Mm.
people forget what you say, let alone no matter how much you did, no matter how much you promised, no matter, people forget that stuff. As a business owner, when you can document what you agreed to,
Right.
and then there's a paper trail, there's an email trail, there's a document, there's a contract. When people start drinking that stupid juice, because I promise you they will, you can pull up that email, you can pull up that paper trail and say, baby, go back to the contract, because that is
Right.
not what we agreed to.
Hmm.
So make sure your documentation is clear. So then when things come up and people start like, oh, you said you was going to do this, or I paid for it. That's the classic thing.
That's the first one you usually hear. Right.
I
Hmm.
paid for. Let's talk about what you paid for. Let's go to the contract. Let's go to the agreement. So those are my top three things.
All right, guys, you heard it. So Obioma, like I said, she's a mom. She runs several businesses. And with all these years of experiences, I'm taking these gems. Okay. So number one, be authentic. It is very
Okay.
important. There's so many people, but there's only one you. Be
Yeah.
authentic. She said, have integrity, because your name is everything. This is something that we talk about a lot. It's not even your brands, but it's also your conscious,
Mm-hmm.
your conscious, okay? And then you need to also communicate
Yes.
and make sure you document when you are making deals, because you are in business and it prevents headaches later on. Okay, so those were her three hot tips for you guys. Obi, I'm gonna tell everybody two things about. I know you have a is it a boat ride that's coming
I have three things that's coming up.
up? Okay, tell
So
everybody about that.
okay, so on May 4th, I am opening up the Breathe Safe House. This safe house is for battered women with children and teen parents. Okay, and so they will be able to live there rent free for 3 months. And the purpose of that is because when I needed a safe place to go with my 5 children, there was not a place for me to go. And when I made the decision to leave my marriage, I didn't have enough money saved up so that I could get my own place. So that's why the 3 months is so important, because it will give the women an opportunity to get that first month, second month, that security, together. So it's not for women who can go into a shelter. It's for women that are bosses. Actually, it's for professional women like you and me who don't qualify for social services, or because of who we are married to, we need to be protected and just need to be in a safe place.
Right. Okay.
You know,
And
so
you said what date is that? May
so
4th?
that's May 4th. So
May
that's
4th. Okay.
Saturday, May 4th. And then on June 1st is the Breathe conference. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I am a conference goer. Like I do conferences, right? But the Breathe conference is like nothing you have ever experienced. I promise you, because I'm so committed to making sure that the women get a breakthrough. Like that's the whole purpose of the conference. You will not go. It's not a conference where you're going to come and sit notes. It's a conference where you come in with problems and you're going to get real answers. You're going to get real solutions.
Yeah.
That's the type of conference it is. And so I'm so committed to that. I literally spent a whole month in prayer and fasting and consecration, just making sure that it's a God agenda and not an Obioma agenda. Yeah. Right. And so, and then the next thing I have is the Breathe Cruise. And that's really important because we have to give ourselves permission to pause. And so last year we did Bermuda. 2020, we are doing a Mediterranean cruise. We're doing a tour of Italy. Listen, if you have not made plans, you need to make plans because it's going to be so amazing. It's going to be so amazing. And I only do the very best, which is Royal Caribbean.
Right. Right.
Listen, if you want to get away, we are flying into Barcelona. We are porting, getting on board from Barcelona. I'm so excited about it. I only have 4 cabins left. And also, listen, it's a family friendly trip. So a lot of people ask me about that. I take my children. So far, everybody that booked, they're taking their children, they're taking their spouses, they're taking their girlfriends. Like, it's that type of trip. So you don't have to worry about workshops. Like, we literally going to come together. We're going to have some fun. We're going to relax. We're going to enjoy all of the festivities that the cruise have to offer. And then we're going to spend a day at each port from 8 to 4. So you can actually tour the land and shop.
Right. Awesome. Well, I'm going to make sure that I get those links from you. So at least I can have that below for anybody who wants to join. I personally have been to the event and it is always so moving and inspiring and educational and just the ambiance of being around all these women, it's amazing. So I can attest to that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with me. I will make sure again that I get the links out to everybody.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me on your show.
Yes. All right. We'll speak soon. Guys, this has been episode 12 of the Birthing Experience, another Master Midwife moment with Obioma Martin. Make sure you guys check her out right here on Facebook. I am Niala Phillip, your host, the Master Midwife for Coaches. We'll see you next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Peace.